Hi, everyone. My name is Nilesh Mathure. I'm one of the co-founders of SaaS Tribe. And today we have with us Chris Liu, who is the co-founder of Copy.ai, one of the rare copywriting tools which actually generates very good quality copy. So Chris, welcome. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Chris?
I am good. I am good. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent, excellent. And first of all, let me start with congratulating you on your Series A. So I know you did some seed funding, and then you recently announced the Series A. So congratulations on that, which means
Thank you.
investors see a lot of capabilities, rightly so, in Copy.ai. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, we're really lucky, and we found investors who really believe in our vision. And so we're really excited to partner together.
Excellent, excellent. So we have a few folks joining. Hey, Ruhani. Hi, Sajwal. Stay tuned. I think Chris is going to make some additional announcements. So I'm sure you will be excited with some of those. And let me start, Chris, with how did you come about with starting a GPT-3 based copywriting tool, Copy.ai? Great branding, great name. And you're one of the first ones to actually do it. You have always been a subscription based product. Can you talk a little bit about how did you get started? Why a copywriting tool?
Yeah, that's a great question. It didn't start off as a copywriting tool. And our vision of the feature is not to stay a copywriting tool. Basically, my co-founder Paul and I are fascinated by entrepreneurship,
Yes.
fascinated by the future, and we think one of the coolest things you can do in the world is to take an idea and turn it into reality, like bring it to life. And then the question came out to, why don't more people do it? And it turns out the answer is just there's too much to do. It's just really, really hard. And so with AI, you have this narrative that AI is going to come out and take everybody's job. But we realize, wait a second, AI, if it does take jobs, it will actually make businesses easier to start, easier to run, and it will improve the odds of success for entrepreneurship. And then so we started looking at different things that we could build in that space. We had this one idea called Concept Hunt, where it's like helping people find ideas
Yeah.
to make. That was really tough. It didn't really take off. And then we created something called taglines.ai, which was to help people refine their ideas. So like you put in a really complex idea, it gives you, a 6, 7 word tagline that like really captures what your idea is about. And that was when people were like, wow, this is amazing. Can you do longer form stuff? Can you do anything else? And then suddenly we're like, ooh, we might be onto something here. So we started Copy.ai. Where we're going in the future, though, is to become more of an AI that helps you run and grow your business. It has to be all encompassing. We're not here just to help you write better copy. We're not here just to help you with your marketing. We're not here just to help you, write blog posts. Those are components of the business, but we really want to help you actually grow and really run all aspects of your business.
Okay. So who came up with the name Copy.ai? Great branding, great domain, right? So
That's a great question. Basically, from taglines.ai, we knew we needed a new name, and we weren't sure like what we should do. So Paul and I spent a good 2 weeks searching for a domain name, and then suddenly one of us was like, "Do you think Copy.ai is available?" We took a look, and it was. It wasn't super cheap. It wasn't like the base deal, but we were able to get it for a very compelling price.
oh,
And so we actually didn't purchase it outright. We leased it at the beginning, and then now we own it outright.
smart. Yes, that's very good. You've been lucky, actually. I mean, it's a great domain, great branding, and a great tool, which puts you on the right track, right? I mean, these are some of the things which do matter, I would say. So, Chris, I know you mentioned a little bit about you want to be a more than a copywriting tool. There is a lot you can do with your tool already, and we are going to get into that overview for sure. But there is a lot of tools out there which are based on GPT-3. What differentiates Copy.ai from some of these other GPT-3 based tools?
Great question. Today, I would say, yeah, maybe not as much, right? You could say, oh, they're all very similar. They're all based on the same technology. But it's interesting because the same technology does not mean you get the same results. And then the way you use the technology matters quite a bit as well. So, in many ways, saying like, oh, today, GPT-3 apps are all the same. It's like in the early days saying, well, all programs run on a CPU. It's like, oh, yeah, great. But the way you use the CPU changes the effectiveness and everything along those lines. The way we think about what we're building is GPT-3 and other generative algorithms um, are the CPU of a computer effectively. It's really good at calculations. It's really good out of the box. But to make it truly valuable, you need to build an entire ecosystem around it. It's like, well, how do you use the CPU in the most effective way that saves the most time for your end users and delivers the highest quality? And that's a whole different issue. And so I think you're going to start seeing massive differences in the upcoming weeks. We are taking a different approach than a lot of our competitors and all the other GPT-3 copywriting apps. And the reason we're taking a different approach is because we have a different mission, which is to help you run your business. And everybody else tends to be, oh, well, I'm going to help you write better copy. I'm going to help you write better blogs. For us, it's the full-on business, and that changes the design and the way we build the app.
Yes, yes. And I know we talked about this. We are an LTD community, but there is quite a few users who also pay for subscriptions for tools which are, where they value some of the, ongoing improvements and things of that nature. You've always been on a subscription model, Chris, and you added subscribers, you've got funding. What does that mean to users? I mean, you're well funded. You recently raised, I think, over $11 million in Series A. So how would that reflect for users of you raising substantial amount of funds? And why should they be paying for a subscription versus an LTD? Can you talk a little bit about that?
That's a great question. And I think it comes down to mindset. And this is the difference between a lifestyle business and a venture backed business. In a venture backed business, the money you raise needs to grow significantly. So you are forced to make decisions that are going to be a little bit more risky. Um, and the reason why we want to make riskier bets is because we have bigger ambitions of the future. And so, what that means for the user is that we will continuously push the boundaries of what is possible. And we're going to reinvest all the subscription money into product, into making it better, making it even more valuable. And the more valuable we can make it, the more subscriptions you can attract, and the more the more you can kind of continue to invest into the product. So for us, raising money and having subscription allows us to explore the limits of GPT-3 and other AI models a lot more. Whether we host our own, train our own, those are all very expensive. And if we were to bootstrap it, we would not be able to afford it. But with funding, we're able to hire the best people to help us build this and make this into the vision that we want to see in the world. So far, we're already at 16 people. We started the year at 2, just Paul and I. So we're growing very rapidly, and every single person on the team is making a big impact on how we build the product out and how we really grow the company into the vision that we have.
Excellent. So, Chris, I think what we can do is if we can jump into the live overview, and then we can take some questions and then follow up with some additional questions around. I think you mentioned there is some new exciting things coming next week, so maybe give a little bit hint of that. Do you want to?
Sure. I don't know how much I can speak there because our
Yes.
marketing team does want to launch
Yes.
it, but I'll
Yes.
share our live overview. I don't know if everyone's seen Copy.ai before. It might have been a while if you have. But today, let's build some stuff. So what should I do this for? I guess I'll start with Copy.ai. It's the easiest thing. So I can just create a project. You'll notice, we have a generation and then we have an editor on the side. You can close it, you can open it depending on what you're going to do. And we'll start off with the product description. So Copy AI, it's an AI powered copywriting app. Or actually, I'll say Copy AI is an AI powered copywriting app. It has over 80 plus tools and templates to help you create social media posts, ads, blogs, and much more. We show you 10 results at a time. You save the ones you like. Okay, so, and then you can actually click on the advanced settings. So we actually have 26 different languages you can translate from and into. Today we'll just stick with English, and then we have a bunch of tones you can choose from. So our tone, let's try to make it more persuasive. That's going to be what we're going for. So if you click the create copy button, you'll see some results coming out. Let's see. Keyword topics, perfect copy. Choose from 80 plus templates and use them to create stunning headlines, social media posts, ads, and more. Oh, look at that. Over 250,000 people have tried Copy AI. We're actually well over 300,000, maybe even over 400,000 now. And let's write copy faster. So you can see immediately there's a bunch of copy. Whatever you like, you can just click, more like this, and it will generate you even more. It'll kind of rewrite it, and it'll allow you to generate even more. And down here, you'll see the word and character count. So if you do need a specific length of characters or words, you can easily do that. If you copy and paste it, you can copy it here, paste it into here, and suddenly you can start editing it even more. You can even edit it down here, but in the editor, it will stay around. Now, that's one example of how to use it. So that's for product descriptions. We have a lot of tools. So, Facebook ads, you can see Google ads, LinkedIn ads, all kinds of stuff. If you are starting your startup, we help you refine your audience. We refine your brand mission, your brand voice, your motto, and everything along those lines. I love that. Spark great ideas that drive conversion.
Yeah.
If you need to build a website, here are a bunch of tools that could help you with that. And then we actually do have blogs. So I do want to focus a little bit more on the blog aspect. Let's find a blog that we can write, and we can write it right here live. Let's see. Oh, a blog about how to use Copy AI for around the holiday season. I like that a lot. So let's figure out an outline, right? So get ready for the holiday season. A blog about how to use Copy AI and what it can be used for around the holidays. So here we're going to create an outline. And the outline is going to be, making website copy more festive. That's a great one. Give people holiday greetings when they
Yeah.
get onto your website. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else that we can do. Maybe like create a holiday email for let's see, create a holiday focused themed email, a promotion email, promo email. And then let's see, okay, let's just go with these three. Of course, ultimately, to write a longer blog, you're going to need a longer, more bullet points, but we're
Yes.
going to do it real quick. So, we can turn that into an H1 tag. And then let's start with the intro. So get ready for the holiday season, a blog on how to use Copy AI and what it can be used for. So let's see. That's not bad. Here, you know what? We need to give it a little bit more information. So Copy AI, an AI-powered copywriting app. for small businesses and what it can be used for around the holiday. So you have to give the AI enough information.
Yes.
So what can you use an AI powered copywriting app for the thing? Let's take a look. Mm, let's see. This is amazing. This one's great. There's a little more to the holidays than just cards, tingles, and eggnog. The holiday season can mean profitable business for you as a small business. Big markets mean big opportunities, which means you have to stand out from the crowd. It can be hard to do so if you don't have a clue to start looking for you, the supercharged copywriter behind your back who can help you boost your sales through your blog and social media account using Copy.ai. Okay, that's your first section of the intro.
Yes.
So tip one, make website copy more festive. Um, let's see. I might actually have to copy this. And then we're going to copy this into here. And then we're going to go to the bullet point to blog section. So how to use Copy AI, an AI-powered copywriting app, and what it can be used for around the holidays. And then the main point of this paragraph is making website copy more festive. So let's see, writing copy for holiday sales is a challenge. Oops, sorry, give me 1 second. Oh no, I deleted it by accident. I'm gonna make this an H2 tag real quick. What graphics do we use? Let's see, I'm gonna just grab this. What you can do with that. And then you could basically use Copy AI to add different themes. You can use Copy AI throughout the year. It can generate text for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, or any other holiday or special occasion you need text for. Okay, so that's bullet point one. And then now we're going to do bullet point two. So you see, I'll create copy. I'll come back here, turn this into an H2 tag, and then we will continue on. But you can see immediately we are
Yes.
in like 3 minutes and we already have like 274 words, but you'll see we can just continuously grow quite a bit. And the more bullet points we add, the longer the blog post becomes. And so this is one of our new features of helping you create full-on blogs.
What?
Um, yeah, that's that. I guess I'll go through other tools real quick. We have a lot of social media tools. One of my favorite is the carousel post. Here, you know what? Let's see how to use Copy AI and what it can be used with an AI-powered copywriting app for small businesses and what it can be used for around the holidays. So let's say we wanted to create some Instagram posts. This is how you would do it. You can find there's a hook, why you should be using Copy AI as a small business owners, especially around the holidays. Okay, that did not actually work too well. Use it for holiday social media. You can create holiday content like quotes, jokes, trending hashtags. It's free for 7 days. You can say for 7 days. Yeah, and you can kind of see some of the results are a lot more personalized to this specific thing. Oh, like this one's good. This is what most small businesses are missing. They don't advertise during peak holiday buying season. They can't find the right messaging, whatnot. And so you can see this forms the carousel post. And yeah, we have so many things, including the different sales copy features. This one is a really popular one. So let's take a look. I'm going to just grab an AI-powered copywriting app for small businesses, and it will generate things in the ADA format: attention, interest, desire, action. And we have like 5 or 6 different copywriting formulas, and then we have a bunch of writing tools, a bunch of brainstorming tools, and then even some personal tools. So that right
Very
there
cool.
is a quick overview. I know I kind of just said a lot, but would love to chat more.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So we have some questions. Aditya Sharma, he's asking, hey Chris, one question. Can you share 3 unique points which makes Copy.ai stand out from so many buzz AI tools in market?
Yeah, that's a great question. Ultimately, we're here to serve business owners in the long run. A lot of the other AI tools are designed for writing blogs or designed specifically for SEO. We want to be the overall general purpose tool for business owners where we could help you create product descriptions, ads for those product descriptions, help you create, websites, and be ultimately a much larger app. We have a lot of features planned that are going to be very differentiating. Already, you can see there's some like more like this. I don't think a lot of the other competitors have that. The ability to, um, have an editor right here on the side. I think some of them do. It's not a very smart editor, but this editor will get a lot better in the upcoming future. We have the idea of having a lot of projects, and these projects can actually be shared. So it's a little bit more collaborative with everybody else in your workspace. So as you can see, you can have multiple workspaces up here. Our goal is to really help you work faster. And I think you're going to start seeing it a lot more in the upcoming days.
Very cool. Can you talk a little bit about what's some of the top usage you see from a user? How do people actually, what are some of the key things which you see people using in the Copy.ai? You have a lot of great features, lots of different things, but what's the more common things which you see people use?
Yeah, so what I just did with the blogs, people are doing that like crazy. They're able to generate 1,000 word blogs in under 20
Wow.
minutes, and it's like pretty high quality, at least a very, very high quality first draft. The other one we see a lot of is people creating Facebook ads. It's really quick. You just type in your brand name, type in a description, click a button, and you're there, and you immediately get it. E-commerce owners love the product descriptions. It's actually one of our most used tools. Um, uh, Instagram captions. So, if you ever like, we have a lot of social media managers, and they are in love with the Instagram caption tool as well as that carousel post tool I showed earlier. Yeah, people are able to use these tools in so many different and unique ways. A lot of email marketers use these email tools. But yeah, anyone who's starting a business, already running a business, small and big, all use the app, and they use it for a variety of use cases.
Yes. So this content, right? I mean, you said over 1,000 words in 20 minutes. That's phenomenal. I mean, for somebody who wants to have a quick blog post, and so from an SEO perspective, right? From a plagiarism perspective, like, are there any other steps you advise a user should take, or do you do plagiarism checks, SEO checks, and things of that nature? Are they coming, or something in your roadmap? Can you touch on that?
Yeah, we don't have full on plagiarism checks yet, but we are thinking about adding it to the editor. It's going to be enhancements that we want to add in. And then the other stuff that we do really well is basically we help you structure your outlines. So, for example, like here, I wrote a blog about, writing an SEO focused blog.
Yeah. Yes.
And what you can do is you can grab an outline from another post that does really well and then reframe it to your own ideas. And then you take each of those bullet points and you create, a full on blog with that. And this took me about 20 minutes to do. And it's a solid, let me see how many words. Yeah, this is actually a 2,000 words, but the first 1,000 words, maybe first couple hundred words are not actually related. So it's about 1,500 word blog post. And it's designed from the outline of another blog that was ranking really high. So that makes it much more powerful as a SEO play because it uses the structure and format of an SEO blog post that has already succeeded. Um,
Okay.
we do need to add a bit more of the specific SEO features, like, making sure that the keywords are right. But we do have tools to help you with that as well. There's one called Rewrite with Keywords. You literally can take, one of these pieces of text, type in the keyword that you want, and then you would be able to generate, these sections that have a specific keyword inside of them.
Okay. Okay. Um, Thanks, Chris. And let me actually take a few questions, and then we can move to the next part of. So please keep on continue sharing your screen because there's a few questions. How are you putting limits in the AI writer? So are there any
Yeah,
limits? Yeah.
There are right now, but they are going to change. So for free users, you have 400 characters. For paying, you have 600 characters of input. For the bullet point to paragraph to blog section tool I showed earlier, um, our best AI model is available for premium users. Our free users get something that's not nearly as good. We are working on improving it though. So yeah, the free users get a weaker model, but the premium users get a much more powerful model. And the model that you see today, which is a whole lot more coherent. Um, there are some other limits, where we prevent you from generating stuff that's illegal or, very, very bad. But other than that, there aren't too many other limits.
Okay. Does the copy button paste it in the cursor position in the editor? It's a question
Not
from.
yet. Not yet. So these two are kind of separate things for now, but they will start interacting a lot more in the near future. So we're building it out.
Okay. Okay. Are the output based on word keywords? One of the AI tool already has inbuilt SEO based output, which generate content based on right keywords. That's a comment from Aditya Sharma. So Aditya, I think Chris just covered it. But so there is a keyword tool, but I think you're adding some more features in the coming weeks related to keywords and SEO.
That's right. And you can also just plug in more keywords into this paragraph and it will know to use those words a little bit more.
Okay, great. So, hey Chris, I'm sorry this has been covered already, but you're using GPT-3 or your own proprietary AI, like many other AI writers.
It's a combination of both. GPT-3 is really good as a general purpose starting model, but then we have a lot of data with 300,000 users. We're able to gather a lot of data very quickly that can improve the model significantly. So that's why some people, when they use it, they feel like it's better than other competitors, is because we do some things behind the scenes.
Yes. So, Rituraj, I hope that answers your question. It's a combination. And GPT-3 itself is so powerful, right? Like, what percentage of GPT-3 capabilities are you currently using in Copy.ai? And what is about to come? Like, I mean, as things evolve, right, with Copy.ai. Can you talk a little bit about that, Chris?
We are scratching the surface. There is so much more that it can do, and so we have an R&D team. I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of other competitors do that, where we really try to push it to the absolute limit. And some of the research that we've done is going to start coming out, and I can't wait. I can't share much more than that,
Yes,
but
that's fine.
our app is going to look quite different next week, at
That's
least certain aspects of it.
that's great. So you're just scratching the surface. So there is a
Barely, yeah, we're
lot
barely
more
scratching the
features.
surface.
So
Yeah.
there is a lot more features you will build on top of it as you see fit into this model.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Um, from a returns perspective, right? I noticed you have Facebook ad copies and things of that nature. Have you seen examples where people have generated ad copies and have received and have got better results than like agencies and stuff like that?
Well, it's actually a lot of our customers are agencies.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
some of them are, very large agencies, might I add, and they absolutely love it. They just constantly are adding more seats. They're just constantly hiring more people and they're able to take on more clients because it allows each person at their company to be able to work a lot more effectively and efficiently. When you're an agency owner or an agency employee, you might have 10 different customers, and each customer might be very different and they might have very, very specific or niche aspects of the company that you may have to do a lot of research to learn about. But the AI will actually know much more about every individual niche than an agency employee by themselves. So what the employees do is they use Copy AI to generate a lot of potential ad copy, and then they go through it and filter out and then try a bunch of them with their clients, and they're finding really good results. Ultimately, what they're able to use Copy AI for is to speed up experimentation. Your goal is to find a winning creative, winning copy, right? So
Yes.
if you can only try 5 times, your chances are much lower than if you can try 50 times. And
Yes.
so this allows them to run 50 different ad variations very, very quickly with very different angles, and then see which one of those perform the best. After a little bit, you just keep running the ones that perform really well, and it makes the overall ad campaign a lot more effective.
Very cool. Very cool. So anybody who has an agency and who's tuned in, for sure, or who watches the recording, uh, this is something you want to look at, right? Because I think from an ad copy perspective, you can get really creative with tools like Copy.ai and generate a lot more ideas much faster. And of course, you don't have to
Like,
take that idea as it is, but you can tweak it, and it will give you some great starting points. Yes.
yeah, let me show you an example
Yes.
for small businesses this Christmas. For Christmas. Well, I need ads with Christmas theme. Let's just create copy. Let's see what comes out. Basically, you can add other things. um, and then it should start adding in more ideas. As we move towards a festive period, we're looking for different messages. You got the message out. That was okay, but it's starting to add in more season and holiday themes to the outputs. So, you know what? Let's try to do this with a Christmas theme, or in a Christmas theme, or something like that. Let's take a look at what comes out. It's almost Christmas and you really want to wow your customers with a festive offer. That's why you need Copy AI, the AI powered copywriting app that helps you deliver awesome copy ideas for your business, each made to fit into your brand's growth strategy. Take the hassle out of Christmas marketing with Copy AI. So you can see, right, when you add some additional holiday themes,
Yes.
suddenly you're able to brainstorm completely unique ads given a specific topic or theme. Yeah. One way I like to use it actually is for very fast paced marketing. So, for example, when Facebook rebranded to Meta, I was able to use Copy AI to generate some social media posts that were like, "Hey, take a look at this and make a funny joke out of it."
Yeah.
So, we have this tool called Shower Thoughts, where you can literally type in some sort of thing,
Yeah.
and then it will generate random thoughts for you.
Very cool.
Yeah, none of these are working very well because the input's not very good, but
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
for sure. Yes. Oh, there's a big comment here from Ruturaj. I'll read it for you actually here. Also, Chris, it's been noticed that most of the AI writers fail the moment we try to get output from them that includes or needs facts to be addressed, or the moment your blog turns a little technical. When I ask why I ask is because I would want an AI writer to generate fact oriented technical articles covering a product or service, review articles of digital products, for example. But I have seen almost all writers fail when I try to do a write up like that. I've noticed AI writers rock for articles like what to eat, how to run, how to live better, and other topics that involve basic information. So that's a comment from Ruturaj. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is Ruturaj right in his perception, and is should he be expecting different from Copy.ai, or is there something models which you would be training in future to address those needs?
That is a great, great observation. And that's something that we deal with every single day. And so, what you're experiencing is the AI model outputs depend on the data that it's trained on. So, for example, if you're trying to write something that the AI model that's very niche. The AI model probably does not have much information inside the underlying corpus of text, which is all the text GPT-3 and other AI models are written on. And so as a result, the outputs are not going to be fully accurate, or it will try its best to try to write about it, but it's not going to be there. Um, we have some ideas in mind on how to solve this. I can't share anything specific, but I can say stay tuned. And we have, yeah, we have a way of trying to address this issue.
Okay, Ruturaj, I hope that helps. You can always sign up for a trial of Copy.ai. And Chris, there is a little bit of an interest. I mean, so you mentioned you might be able to give the community some offer around for a 12-month period. Can you talk a little bit about that, because that's what people have been waiting for, and then we can move forward to additional questions. So
Yeah. If you use the promo code SaaS Tribe, all caps, you can get 40% off for your first year. That's as good of a promotion as it gets. And yeah, I'd hope to see a lot of people use it. It applies to both our uh, monthly and annual plan. If you do that to our annual plan, it comes out to like $252 a year, I think. Let me actually make sure of that. Which then, if you divide by 12, it's the equivalent of like $21 a month, which I think is as cheap as an AI writer of this quality gets. And it's for unlimited copy. So it's not like, oh, you pay by character or by word or something along those lines.
okay, so hope guys that works for you. I know a lot of you are into LTDs, but I'm a firm believer with the way things are going with LTD tools that somewhere with we have to look into, and we use subscription products too, and for the model which Copy.ai has, as well as some of the funding they've received, the amount of subscriber base it has, you should look into some of those details. And Chris, what's your subscriber base? You said 300,000 at moment?
Not subscriber base. I
I'm sorry.
think we might have somewhere around 6,000 customers or
Oh yeah.
so, paying
Okay.
customers.
Okay.
But over like 300, maybe even 400,000 people have used the app and
Yes. Okay.
use the app every day. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay. Great. So, um, so there's a 40% off. I mean, you are welcome to try it out. It's SaaS Tribe, all capital, SaaStribe. So feel free to check it, and let us know what you think. Yes. So,
Yeah.
oh, is that code year to year working?
It's for the first year right now, and that's because a lot might change. A lot of the features we're adding are going to potentially even change our monetization model. And so we may even have a cheaper plan. So that's why we're doing it year to year for now, so that we understand, or like we only do it for the first year. So then if we do end up changing it, you would be able to benefit from an improved product.
That's great. That's great. Um, Ruturaj has a follow up comment. Problem is, every AI writer has the PAS model built into it, but none of them is addressing my pain points. So I think it's still evolving, Ruturaj, as Chris said, and then see where it is going. There will be specific models. Eventually, we'll see probably trained to address specific segments and technical writing, but that's a huge subject matter in itself, right? Like what kind of technical writing? So
It is. But there are some very clever solutions you can do to try to address that. And so I do suggest you keep an eye out. Yeah, I can't wait to share.
excellent. So I think we can move back to the other go back to the previous scene, so we can stop sharing the screen, I guess. So, Chris, let me ask you. You mentioned your team is about 16 people at the moment. You have an R&D team, developers. Is there like plans with the new funding to grow your team? Are you currently hiring? And where is your team based? Is everyone based in Houston as you are, or they're pretty geographically dispersed?
Yeah, we're remote across the US and Canada as of now,
Okay.
and we plan on staying that way. Ultimately, in the long run, we'd love to be remote, globally. But right now, hiring globally is just really, really tough from an operation standpoint. So we feel like we need to get a little bit bigger before we can do that. But our mission is to really help people, create better copy, and that applies to a global audience. So we want our company to reflect that. Yeah, we do plan on growing a good amount more. A lot of developers, a lot of product managers and designers to really focus on making the product as good as possible.
Okay. Chris, can you talk about what are some of the tools you use internally to collaborate with your team? You have a geographically dispersed team. So what are some of the top tools which help you?
Yeah, so it depends on the org. So for across the entire org, there's two tools that really stand out. One's Notion.so and the other one's Slack. Notion is our documentation base. When you're running a company, documenting everything is absolutely core and critical to the business. That way, you can really share all the information, and anybody who needs to look up some information about the company can look it up. The other one is Slack. So Slack is how we communicate. So any sort of messages, any sort of alerts, it becomes the command center of our company. For coding, we use GitHub. It's standard. It's really, really good for that. And all of our engineers use it. For our project management, we use Jira. And Jira is really, really great for working together as a team, creating cards, and then having the engineers work on the cards. For design, we use Figma. And Figma has been really, really powerful as a design tool. So then we can really build out high fidelity prototypes, and then the engineers can start building them. Those
And
would be
what
the main ones.
and what is your tech stack for Copy.ai? What are you using?
Yeah, it's TypeScript from top to bottom. So we use React.js on the front end, Next.js and Node.js as the back end web framework. And then we have a Postgres database. So it's a very standard modern tech stack.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing that, Chris. Um, so what's next? I know you're making some big announcements, but over the year, like how do you collect feedback? How do you see where the market is going? Do you collect a lot of feedback from your users? How do you prioritize features in Copy.ai? Is that something which you track internally as well as continuous feedback from users, market trends? Can you touch base on that?
Yes, it's all across the board. We typically do a lot of user interviews. So, it's constant communication with our users, our power users, new users, users who've churned, users who have subscribed and added on seats, really understanding the main pain points, and then just continuously exploring what's possible. So a user might tell us like, oh, it doesn't write accurate facts, and then that gets passed on to our R&D team, and our R&D team's like, well, how could we get this AI model to have more accurate facts? And then we'll do a lot of research there. And then after we finish the research, if we find there's a way that we can do it, then it gets passed on to the product team, and then from that point onwards, it gets used by the engineers, so then we can actually build out a final app.
Very cool. Hey, I have some follow-up questions on the discounts you just announced, Chris. All right, cool. But what about us, the little early users? We are hoping we can have certain level of discounts after first year. I hope it is not too much to ask. If needed, we can provide constructive feedback on improvements. Legit. And I think Sajwal has a similar comment as well. What about discounts after a year? Sorry for being that guy. I don't want get I don't want to get too attached and have to leave as you raise prices after new features.
Yeah, those are great comments. Ultimately, we're here for the long run and we're trying to become a much larger company, right? And so we reward our early users. There is a world where we offer a higher premium product. But if you're already paying, we may grandfather you in. We don't know. I can't give you a guarantee today, but that is our philosophy and that is our ethos. If you support us in the beginning, we will want to support you in the future as well, because ultimately, the product would not be where it is without our early users. And we're here not just for the first couple thousand users. We're here. We want to get to like a million, a billion users, and so we want to support you as well. The more features we can build, the more value we can add, the more we can charge. For the next users, so users who find us about us later. But for our early users, there's only a few thousand right now, so we would definitely be open to potentially grandfathering you in or finding stuff along those lines. At the same time, there are every once in a while we do offer deals. So for a few months we offered 2 additional free seats along with the purchase of a solo plan. So you would get 3 seats for the price of one. And that's been really, really popular. We're not offering that currently, but we may offer that over the holiday season. And yeah, we do hope to support everybody as much as possible.
That's great.
I
Sajwal,
hope that
Rouhani,
shares our method of approaching it. We see our community as our early supporters and as a major component of our business. So we do try to support our early community as well.
that's great. And what has been your retention ratio typically? You have early adopters. When you started, you had a subscriber base before actually you went to seed funding, and you have always been that model. I remember, I'm sure there is a lot of people who ask you for a lifetime deal, but you haven't done that. I think it's a right choice. It has allowed you to scale. So what's your retention ratio in terms of what's the percentage of people who have started using Copy.ai from an early stage and they're still there with you?
Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of the users who were tagline. Okay, so when we first started, we had this thing called taglines.ai,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And some people actually paid for that. Those users, the vast majority of them are still Copy AI users.
wow,
And so we give them amazing offers, and they are our biggest fans because they've been with us for over a year now. They were with us before Copy AI even launched.
yes.
But yeah, people, across the board really like what we're doing. When people churn, it's usually because they switch jobs or something along those lines. Otherwise, yeah, people love it.
Um, there is a few more comments. Let me see. Pamela La is here. Hey, Pamela. Sorry, late to the party. Pamela, you can always catch the recording. Ruhani saying, Ruhani Rabin, the things I do for the community. Okay, Sajal, thanks for the question. Does not need any guarantee at this point, but we can help shape things. I think that is difficult to measure in money, for sure.
That is very true. That is very true. Our user research is extremely powerful, and it helps shape our product feature roadmap.
Yes. So, in terms of there are new models being talked about, right? Like there is GPT-4. There's already a discussion, and I'm not sure exactly which year. I think 2022 or 2025. It's being. How would that impact in terms of what you are building today with Copy.ai and GPT-3?
Yeah, we are aligning ourselves for the long term, right? So
Yeah.
if somebody starts GPT-4, we want to be one of the first customers, start to use it. We are constantly looking for new models, new approaches, and those approaches have their benefits and they also sometimes have downsides. And so we need to learn how to best fit it into our system to provide the best value for our users. And there's so many new models these days. It's hard to keep track of, but we have a dedicated machine learning guy who's an expert, absolute expert at machine learning, and he keeps an eye on it. we also are reading the latest research papers from the various AI groups, and some of the stuff that they're talking about is very relevant to what we're trying to build. And so it's really, really fascinating. And we really feel like we're at the bleeding edge right now.
Okay. Chris, can you talk about, I mean, any of your favorite podcasts, newsletters, resources where users can get that daily motivation, some of the aspiring founders here in the community? Can you talk a little bit about what's your favorite resources you would recommend?
Yeah, I don't have much time to read these days, but when I did, I loved Morning Brew. I loved The Hustle. Those were two really great business focused, not podcasts,
Mm,
newsletters.
yes.
In terms of podcasts, my favorite right now is the All In podcast. I don't know if many people know. It's hosted by four um, startup guys, I guess, or venture investors. One of our investors, David Sachs, is on that podcast, and they just talk about everything: geopolitics, the startups, and everything. What I love about them is that they're very honest and truthful about how they feel. They don't try to like touch around stuff. Half of them are billionaires, I think, and so they don't care. um, so they just share whatever's on their mind, and it's really refreshing because they do have different perspectives. It's not like they're all the same perspective. They do have different personalities and perspectives, and they're able to duke it out. And they leave the readers or the listeners to determine what their final beliefs are. And usually it lies somewhere in between, some of the other podcasters and, what they're saying. So, they talk all about, the future of tech, the coolest, latest, research. It's just a fascinating podcast to follow.
That's great. I think we are almost, and I think you have a hard stop like in 8 minutes or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So we almost made it. Last question before we close it off. And what's your day-to-day role at Copy.ai? How do you divide your time? And you said you don't have a lot of time these days, so I'm sure you have long days, long working hours. Can you elaborate? What do you on a day-to-day basis? Like, are you intimately involved in the development side, marketing side? Please, yeah.
Truth be told, it's everything. It's wherever I need to do work. The role of a founder is to get whatever needs to get done. So, when we were growing, I needed to help out with recruiting. When we're doing R&D, I helped out there. When we're doing product development, I do helped out with QA and all kinds of things. So everybody at the company kind of touches upon everything else already. But my role in particular tends to be like if there's anything that's blocking people or something that prevents people from getting their work done, I need to step in and really make sure that it gets done. So I do touch upon so much. It's a little hectic, I
Yeah.
now need a to-do list. I can't keep it all in my head anymore.
And what do you do for fun? Any
Oh man,
hobbies?
I
Travel?
play basketball. I
Very
used to
cool.
play video games, have not been able to do that as much. Yeah, these days, just kind of relax, read about some cool research, follow some crypto projects.
Very cool.
Nothing too crazy. I don't have too much time for that.
Very cool. Thank you, Chris. So a few comments here. I want to give props to Chris. I'm running multiple R&D teams, which we all using Slack, Jira, Trello, and lately Notion.
Yeah,
So
a lot of things to use, a lot of tools.
Pamela is asking where to find the copy.ai deal. Pamela, I'll post a link. There is, so Ruhani has already posted it. There is a yearly and a monthly discount, 40% off. I think if you do yearly, Chris mentioned it works out to about $250, $252. So do check that. And with that, any other closing comments, Chris, before we before we end it? Yes.
The space is moving so quickly. GPT-3 was launched a year and a half ago. NVIDIA announced a 500 billion parameter model that they trained with Microsoft. It's not going to be in production, but they showed that it can be really, really powerful. The open source models are going like crazy. Ultimately, what we all need to do is, how do we make these useful to end users? How do we make this useful for business owners? And that's our North Star. So we're really, really excited to continue executing on this mission. And I think you're going to see us move a lot faster in the upcoming months. We're planning 2-week release cycles. So you're going to see new products and features every 2 weeks. And it's only going to speed up as we hire more people. So we're really, really excited, really, really glad that everyone here is part of our journey. And I look forward to sharing some of these new releases with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Chris. Wish you the very best at Copy.ai. And guys, please check them out. I mean, that's one of the tools which has given me a lot of consistent copy and good quality copy. That's their focus. So not just, some sort of like a copy that makes sense. So do check it out. And again, for the purpose and verticals and things of that nature, there is a lot of factors in play. But I encourage you to check it out if it works well for you. And welcome to reach out to Chris and give his team any feedback. And welcome to use the discount code as well. So thank you so much for doing this, Chris. I sincerely appreciate it. And all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and look forward to seeing you guys in the app.
Thank you. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you.